Okay. So yes, welcome everybody to our team call tonight. Emily will be training us tonight on finding builders. So we look forward to that. But first of all, just like to announce the winners from last week. So the last week's competition was to the most wellness consultations actually done last week. So not just booking them in, but actually doing them last week. And the three winners for the top were Deborah, Magdalene, Deborah, you on? Kirsten Davies and Vanessa O'Brien. Well done, guys, for booking the most on. We'll be sending you your prizes in the post. Congrats. We have a couple of cool announcements. The first one is that there will be a Portugal boot camp for people wanting to do a boot camp for the business, also known as like Elite Retreat. Generally, you need to be elite or above to attend those events, this boot camp. Now, this boot camp is on the 30th of August to the 1st of September, and this one's in Portugal. The last one, Portugal one I went to, was really good. So make sure if you want to go to that, you book your place when they announce that. Also, last week we asked you all to give us your preferred dates for the team party. It seems that most people can only do the Thursday, so we have booked the team party for the Thursday evening from 9:15 until midnight. It's very exciting because we've been able to book the Sun Lounge on the Sun Yacht. It's called the Sunborn Yacht in, I forgot what dock it's in, but it's in the dock by the Excel Centre, and we're in the Sky Bar on the top there, and we have exclusive use of that lounge. We only have 100 tickets. So here are the rules with it, okay? You can't just be inviting anybody. It's only for people on my mum's team, which is obviously all of Rebecca and my team and everyone else's team, or anyone on mum's team, okay? The tickets are £20 a head. We're obviously heavily subsidising that. But you can only have 2 tickets per Wellness Advocate account, okay? And they have to be your partner. You can't just pick somebody that you want to come, unfortunately, because there's only 100 tickets. Okay. So it's £20 a head. Now, if you're in the RAC, doing the RAC, you will need to purchase a ticket, even if you're going to rank. But all the people that rank will get their tickets paid for. We'll reimburse you at the end, but you will need to book a ticket to go so that you reserve your place. So just make sure everyone books a ticket that is looking to go and looking to rank for the RAC club, and then we'll reimburse them. And if you're doing the RAC club and you rank, you will get 2 tickets paid for. So, but it has to be you and your partner. It can't be you and then you pick whoever else you want to come with you. Unfortunately, we can't do that. It has to be your husband, your partner, or can't be your sister, can't be your best friend, unfortunately. It has to be you or your partner. Otherwise, it's just 1 ticket. Okay. And that's because we only have 100 places for this team party. Now, Emily's team, Emily and Tim are doing their own party. So if you're on Emily's team, we would strongly encourage that you go to Emily's team party. We are having the gala night on the Friday night as well, where we're all going to celebrate all together. But it's nice to keep it a bit more low-key and a bit more, what's the word? A bit more concentrated on the team that you're working with. So intimate's the word, Emily. Thank you. A bit more intimate, like that. Be more fun. Rebecca, are you on?
Yes, I am.
I'll let you make the next announcement, Bex. Hello, Sophia.
Can you hear me?
We can just
Okay.
about. We can hear you just
Sophia,
about.
okay, yeah, we'll do another announcement first, and Sophia can do her little bit. So we got the idea that quite a few of you are interested in doing Symphony of the Cells, and I watch Boyd, because we'll be taking it down during this call, because I don't think we have already. Have we taken it down, baby? We're taking it down out of request from Boyd. But yeah, hopefully you all watched it. So Nathan actually got to go and do Symphony of the Cells last week on Saturday. You loved it, didn't you, Nathan? Best thing ever.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. I've got notes.
Slightly wasted on Nathan, I think. The rest of us, no. Nathan did enjoy it. But anyway, Boyd has said that he's going to come to England, the Milton Keynes area. We're just looking for a venue. We thought that was quite a nice central point, and because the headquarters are there in England, the offices. But he's going to come on the 22nd of August. Is that right? Wednesday the 22nd. It's just, can someone check a calendar?
I think that's what you said there.
Okay, perfect. So Wednesday 22nd, thanks, Ems. Wednesday the 22nd of August. It's going to be, I think, from about 3:30 till 9:30. But we'll let you know. And I've asked him if our team can have exclusive booking rights for the first week that he releases it. So UK as well, the whole of Europe actually, but I've asked if we can have exclusive rights for 1 week. So as soon as it comes up, we'll be posting it. So not just our team, but Becky's team. So Becky's, whole team. And to book it, I recommend booking it. There's 150 places, I think. So we'll let you know. So I'm very excited about that personally. And then the other thing is, Sophia, we just wanted to share an oil experience this week, because we've been using the oils tons this week. We've had quite a poorly family. I think Nathan and Izzy were the first to go down together. And then Sophia, go on, do you want to share your experience?
Well, on last Friday, I catched the flu for my sister Isabel and Daddy, which Roy said. I had the flu for 2.5 days, but I got better on the third day because Mummy put oils on me every 2 hours on my feet and my tummy. I knew it was because of the oils.
So that was cool. So we had a rollable blend. It was actually 1.5 days you were sick for.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was really quick. So it was a horrible flu. Like Nathan, it was serious, wasn't it, Nathan? I mean, I don't think Nathan was faking it. I think it was a real flu. Isabel was really sick. So Isabel and Nathan had it for about 4 days. They were both out of it. And then Sophia got it, and she didn't want to be sick for very long. So we were putting the oils on. And I made this rollable blend with arbor vitae, frankincense, lemon, and oregano in it. Equal parts, finished with some coconut oil at the top, some fractionated coconut oil. And we were literally rubbing it on her feet every 2 hours. Then Zenjess on her tummy because her tummy was hurting. And then lavender and peppermint on her head with frankincense, and occasionally deep blue on her tummy as well because it was hurting a lot, wasn't it? And literally after 1 day, she felt so much better. And by 1.5 days, she was jumping around. So the oils are amazing. We love them.
What oils did Mummy put on you, Sophia?
I just said, did you hear us, or you testing Izzy? I mean, Sophia.
I didn't hear you say that.
Is our reception working well? Because I couldn't hear you very well. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. I heard you.
So we just said it, so maybe we'll pass over to Ems, do you think, now, Nate? So that I'm just thinking.
Yeah. Well,
Go on.
yeah, well, first of all, I want to defend myself. That I think it's very unfair. It was like I was bedridden. It was like I'm pretty sure I had some infectious disease, and but at Boyd's Symphony of the Cells, I did learn the infectious disease protocol. So it was like a couple of days too late, but I know now how to. I think I had something like that. Something really bad. It was really bad. We just got a couple of questions. Ems, did you want to just? Did your team know all about your team party, or did you want to say something about
Yeah, no, they know. They all know about it. So,
Good.
yeah, all good. All
Right,
good. Too much going on at convention, but
There's a lot going on.
we're all going to catch up with each other at gala, and I think it'll be lovely to have some quieter parties as well.
Yes.
And actually be able to speak to each other.
Yeah. No quietness at our party. It's rowdy. Rowdy.
Well, yeah.
Smashing the yacht up. So Nicola's just asked, how do we book? Well, there'll be an Eventbrite link coming out very soon. I just need to finish creating it, and I'll send it out. So that's how you book. Heather's just asked, when I say ranking, does March count? March would count for ranking. March and April are the months that count if you're part of the RAC group. And then Eloise has asked, please don't take down the Boyd video until this evening, Rebecca. Okay, we'll take it down. We'll take it down late tonight, but make sure you finish watching it, guys. We promise, boys.
I will, thank you. It's on pause, so.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Sophia. It's time to go to bed for you. Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, Sophia, darling. Bye. And then we'd like to turn the time over to our lovely Emily. Emily's Blue
Diamond.
Emily and Tim of Blue Diamond. Emily is...
An amazing... Oh, go on. I'm
no, go on, babe. You introduce Ems.
No, go on. You were going to say something. Not you. So I was worship on the same computer. Go on, Nate. Go.
Okay. Emily and Tim have been with us for about 2.5 years, is it, Ems? Maybe 3?
Yeah.
And they've just smashed the business. One of Emily's skill sets is, her biggest skill set, I would say, is finding builders. She is great at it and nurturing them and bringing them on board. And so that's what she's going to be sharing with us tonight, how she does it. Aren't you, Em? She's going to be telling us exactly what you do.
I'll try.
Yeah, so yeah, we love having Emily on her team. So yes, it's the information she's going to share tonight is very precious and important. So she's going to share it again. So over to you, Ems.
Thank you, guys. Amazing. Do you want to pass over to me so I can share my screen? Well, I can share my screen anyway, can't I?
Yeah, just share straight away. Yeah, you're fine.
Perfect. So yeah, by the way, just as I bring up my PowerPoint, we love being on your too.
Oh, thanks, Em.
We're very, very blessed and very, very grateful to be with everybody. So I'm just going to, here we go. So hopefully you can see that.
Yep, that's on.
Okay, so yes, I am Emily. I am a Blue Diamond, and since I started 2.5 years ago, I have had an ability to find builders, and I wasn't for a long time really quite sure how I was doing it or what I was doing, but I'm very excited about sharing my top tips and my knowledge with you guys to hopefully help you on your way so you can attract some dream team to your teams as well. Okay, so let's talk about builders. Okay, so who thinks finding builders is a little bit like finding a needle in a haystack? Kind of hard and really exciting when you do. Or how about, does anybody remember this guy? Where's Wally? He's there somewhere, but not very easy to find. Yeah, it takes a bit of time. And I've also heard builders referred to before as gold dust, okay? Some people seem to find loads of them, and yet for others it's a bit more difficult. For a lot of people it's a bit more difficult, okay? So let's look at the 7 traits of successful doTERRA leaders. And this was actually some research that our uplines in the States, Patrick and Elise Shedeby, who many of you know, this was some research that they did. They spent a lot of money on it to find what were the key traits. And they came up with these. Many of you may have heard this before. So the top 7 traits are women, aged between 35 and 45, interested in health or naturally minded, with some business experience, a need for money,
influential, so have some form of network, and a supportive spouse. Now, don't worry if you haven't got all of those top 7 ticked off. I don't think Elise had all of those top 7 ticked off. But this is generally what the kind of traits that do make a successful doTERRA leader. Okay, so I want you guys now, if you've got a pen and paper, that's great. I want you to write down, or even put it in the chat, some professions that might present people who are attracted to or who you think excel at doTERRA, the type of person that you might want on your team. Okay, so feel free to share, guys, like comment or turn on your microphones and tell me what you think. I can't actually see the chat, so Nath, are you there still? Can you tell me if anyone's commented?
I'm here. I'll have a look at it, Ems.
Okay. Has anybody commented? Type of professions that would think would make a successful?
We've got yoga teacher, nutritionist, kinesiologist.
Yeah.
Teacher, trainers.
Yeah, perfect. All of that. Anything else?
Any type of therapist, chiropractor. Yoga, health and beauty therapist.
Yeah.
No specific interest, but happy to talk to people, educate.
A good one, yeah.
Holistic therapist.
Yeah.
Aromatherapist, fitness industry, yoga, reflexologist, nurse, aromatherapist, mums.
Perfect. So doctors, nutritionists, naturopaths, yoga teachers, healers, aromatherapists, health coaches. So let me tell you something. I have all of those people. I have attracted all of those people onto my team, but I am just a mum. I am none of those things. I have none of those letters after my name. I am a regular mum who has a passion and who has worked really hard. But for me, I find that really exciting because it shows everybody what is possible, okay? So how have I attracted all of those people to my team without being those things myself? So I'm going to talk to you now about magnetism, about attraction. Now, magnetism can do 2 different types of attraction. It can attract, but it can actually repel as well, okay? So how do we get it? Because some people seem to have it in abundance, and for others, it's a bit more difficult to get a grip of. Can you bottle it? doTERRA would do very well, wouldn't they, if you could bottle that ability? You know, some people think it's a sort of magical possession that is possessed by certain individuals that enables us to attract or to influence others. But the truth is, each and every individual is in possession of their own unique personal magnetism. Personal magnetism can be positive or negative. As I said, it can attract and it can repel. But we all have the ability to increase the strength of our attraction by self-reflection, knowledge, and practice. We all do. Okay, so the lighthouse. When you're
I need to book a...
Hello? Oh. Hello. So I'm going to talk about the lighthouse. When you're in possession of a strong feeling, emotion, desire, or belief, your personal magnetism can extend great distances, which can then impress those coming within that field of influence. Okay, so look at that lighthouse, standing there strong, a beacon of light, shining out brightly for others to see, guiding others home. I like this one. Lighthouses don't go running all over an island looking for boats to save. They just stand there shining. Okay, so what else do we need? This is a big one. Belief, okay? It is impossible to lead people if your belief is lower than theirs. And I like this picture here. The thing always happens that you really believe in, and the belief in a thing makes it happen. And it is so true. We need to have belief. In doTERRA, we need to have belief on different levels. We need to have belief in ourselves, we also need to have belief in the oils, and we need to have belief in the company. Okay, so there's different types of belief that we need to help us. However, many of us suffer from self-limiting beliefs and doubts. Many of us do, okay? So we can all fall victim to self-limiting beliefs and doubts. You know, often it can stem from fear, fear of the unknown, fear of being successful, fear of what other people think of us. We all have fear. I have fear. I still have fear now to this day. They're just different fears that I had from when I started. But fear is good. Fear is positive. We need to have fear. We need to bump up against our fears in order to get over them, to ride that wave and to take us to the next level. Fear is a form of excitement in disguise. So when you think about your fears, think about them as a good thing. Okay, think about them because you care, and think about them as things that are here to teach you a lesson. Okay, so let's think about some self-limiting beliefs that we might have. Again, write them down, put them in the comments, and Nath, if you can share.
Okay.
Any self-limiting beliefs that you guys have, or maybe some of your team have? There's many common ones that we all know about that a lot of us tend to have. Any comments there, Nath?
People don't feel good enough. People don't feel worthy. They're not an aromatherapist. They lack oil knowledge. They don't know enough people.
Yeah.
They're a slow learner.
Yeah.
One for me is, I know people say that they not very good with computers or technology.
Yeah, I was that person. I was so that person, my goodness. I think I kept you up many a night teaching me how to do a PowerPoint.
It wasn't too many ends. That's fine. You got it pretty quick.
So these are all really good points and really real fears, but let's go back one step. Let's go back to these. Do you guys believe in these oils? Because I'm sure that all of you have either had a profound experience yourself, or if you haven't, you know somebody who has, okay? You know somebody, it might be yourself or somebody else, who has been significantly impacted by having these oils in their lives, these blessings from Mother Nature. Okay, so we can share that if you like, or maybe we won't share anymore now, but you know, what do you think these people think? These people that have had an impact on their lives have changed because of them. Do you think they're grateful? Do you think that they are grateful that somebody stepped past their fear and shared these oils with them? Because the thing is fear can actually be quite selfish, can't it? Because if it means that your fear stops you from sharing these oils with somebody who you can significantly have an impact on their life with, then why would you not share them? Okay, so, you know, don't be that person. Don't let that fear be so selfish that it stops you from doing the work that you're here to do, that we've all come to this place for. Don't be that person to stop people from changing their lives. If your fear is holding you back, there are things you can do about it. There's totally things you can do about it. There's lots of work that you can do. Has anybody read this book? It's called Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown. I'm just going to read you this quote because I just think it's profound and beautiful. Belonging so fully to yourself that you're willing to stand alone is a wilderness, an untamed, unpredictable place of solitude and searching. It's a place as dangerous as it is breathtaking, a place as sought after as it is feared. The wilderness can often feel unholy because we can't control it, or what people think about our choice of whether to venture into that vastness or not. But it turns out to be the place of true belonging, and it's the bravest and most sacred place you will ever stand. I just love that. It gives me goosebumps just from reading it. You know, I must admit, for me, when I first started doTERRA, I didn't I wasn't really into personal development. That was definitely one of my blocks. I was like, I didn't think I needed it. I've always been quite confident. I've always been very motivated. So I thought, oh no, I don't need to read those books. I haven't really got much time either with the 3 boys and other businesses. But I got to a stage on my journey of realizing that it's not just about me, is it? It's about the whole team. It's about all of us. And if I can do something that helps other people who have a different blocks to me and different needs, then that's all good. So I picked up some books, and boy, did I learn the lessons about myself when I did so. And this for me is a beautiful, beautiful book that you guys should all read, okay? So this is going to help. Doing personal development books is going to help with your belief. But there are other things you can do too. What about affirmations and tapping? Again, this is really going to bring positivity and positive mindset to your heart, and gratitude to your days as well. So belief in yourself, affirmations, reading the books. What about attending events? This is very, very powerful. When you attend events, it's all going to boost that deep-rooted belief that you have in yourself, in the oils, in the company, in corporate, for example. Who out of you guys are coming to convention? Hopefully all of you. You know, we've got it on the doorstep. There's no excuse that people shouldn't be there. Teams are flocking in from all over Europe, and we have it on our doorstep. This is all going to help you to drive your business forward. And as I said, they're so, so powerful. But, you know, if you have these self-limiting beliefs and doubts and fears and blocks or excuses, do the work. You need to do the work to step forward, to learn and to grow. And you can. You totally can. And then, boom, there she is. She starts to emerge, okay, from her shell. When you do the work on yourself, that mysterious power that we spoke about of magnetism will start to form within you and start to emerge and to grow. And with that belief that is starting to flourish will come confidence, will bring your confidence will bring a change in your body language. You will find that you have a better way of explaining your passion, and your social skills will improve. You will have more enthusiasm, more gratitude. Therefore, you will become more likable, have more likability. We want people to like us, right? We don't want people to be repelled, as we saw with the magnet. But all of these changes will happen with belief, okay? So let's go back. Belief equals skills. So I did some research on magnetism myself, and all of these qualities that help us to attract people, all of those skills can be helped with inner belief, okay? So I wanted to bring up a picture of a lady that we have on our team. She's actually on Michelle Hubbard's team. She's called Mary Taylor, and I just think she's really inspiring. And I wanted to share her story a little bit, because I hope she won't mind me sharing, but Mary's over 50. You would never know it. She is just awesome. She has so much energy and life and enthusiasm and passion. She's inspiring. She's like a gleaming beacon of life hanging upside down sometimes on a hoop. And her energy just kind of radiates, and her positivity shines through. So is she magnetic? My goodness, she is so magnetic. People are so attracted to her and drawn to her because she has those skills, and she has the feel-good factor, okay? So you need to think about how you are coming across to other people, because if you're always moaning, or you're always a bit low, or you don't smile much, and you're constantly ill, and just sort of lacking energy, talking failure rather than success, do you think people are going to want to come and join you? No, probably not. I don't think I would. You know, I wouldn't have the energy, you know, myself to want to join hands with somebody who was lacking that kind of energetic vibe, because your vibe attracts your tribe. And it's so true. Okay, so let your passion and your belief shine through. Be the person that you want to attract. If you were to look in the mirror, model it. Okay, brand yourself, be real, be authentic, but brand yourself and let people see that. Let people pick up on that, and they will follow. So here's another thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is our conversation skills. Okay, so last year at convention, last September, a couple of us attended a training in the States, and there was a US presidential diamond there called Melody Watts. She was very inspiring, and she was talking about attraction and attracting builders and people to come to work with you and to hold hands with you, and to be attracted to the oils. And she said she couldn't understand it, because when people say that they're doing everything right, they're sampling up, they're doing, effective sampling as we train, they're following up with everybody, they're doing everything right in the trainings, why couldn't they get people to come to their classes, or even to have samples? She was like, what are they doing wrong? And so she said, in order to understand this, give me your phone. She had one lady and she was like, right, I need to understand what's happening here. Give me your phone. And she checked back on this person's messages, and she said, boy, did that tell me a hell of a lot. And, that's something that we really need to be aware of, okay? Because again, your vibe attracts your tribe. So think about how you are conversing with people. Think about the words that you are using. Use beautiful, descriptive words when you talk about the oils and you talk about these gifts from nature. Let your passion come through. If you're presenting or talking at a class, use your presentation skills, pause, and then repeat what you just said with more emphasis. This is all a skill that will come with more confidence, and it doesn't happen straight away. But think about this element to how we share the oils and how we are conversing with people, because they will pick up on this, and they will be attracted to you or repelled by the way that you're doing it. Okay, and we're going to touch a bit more on this. Those of you that are coming to Milton Keynes tomorrow, we're going to go into all of this stuff in a lot more detail, which I'm really, really excited about. But think about what picture you're painting. Okay, so is it bold? Is it beautiful? Is it loving? Is it etched with love and passion? Yeah. And here's another thing. And this is something that I struggled with as well when I started. Blow your own trumpet. Just a little bit. It doesn't mean that you have to be full of yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to be arrogant. But remember, people buy into you, okay? So I've not always been confident at this side of things, because I've wanted to be humble. I've not wanted to think people that thought I was full of myself. But it comes to a point when you have that deep-rooted belief that you could just shout it out from the hills, but still do it in a humble, kind, loving way, okay? You can still be humble, but be proud of what you represent and be proud of you, okay? So here's a skill that I learned. My background, for any of you that don't know, so my background is I was a performer in the theatre, and that's how I met my husband Tim back in the day. I performed all over the world and in London's West End. And then after that, I became a mum for the first time. I've got my 3 gorgeous boys. It's funny that I'm surrounded by boys. I always used to say to my mum, because basically I have a sister. I danced all my life. I then went to Catholic all-girls school, and I always used to say to my mum that I used to moan about not knowing any boys. And now I'm surrounded by them. It's only right, and I'm very blessed. But after that, after the theatre, we started our own franchise, a music business, where we were teaching music classes to babies and children. And I learned a lot in doing this about something that I like to call preempting others' doubts. Okay, so at our music classes, they were called Caterpillar Music, I very quickly had an insight of what tended to be the issues or the excuses or the reasons why people wouldn't sign up or wouldn't come again. And then what I learned to do was to dilute these reasons before they'd had the actual opportunity to even think them, and certainly to ask them. So I would find ways to cover these issues within my class or within my close to make them think that wasn't enough of an issue anymore, without them even asking the question. And we gain this ability, and as you said in some of the chat that you wrote down, you know, some of the doubts that you have are actually not just your doubts, they're doubts that other people have. Okay, and I've got some examples here for you. So here are some of the doubts that other people might have. So, too expensive. I need to check with my husband. I'm not sure about internalization. I don't like sales or network marketing, or perhaps they don't work. These are all doubts that I'm sure many of us have come across during our journeys. Okay, so think of these doubts and think about what you could say to people during the class or perhaps during the close to dissipate or to dilute these worries or concerns. Okay, and get a script in mind that you have there ready to use. So for me, if somebody came to Caterpillar Music and they thought that their child was too young and it was a mixed class, then during the end bit of part of the class, I would say, oh, it's so fantastic to bring your children amongst all the different age groups, because that's when children really learn from each other. And it's a brilliant opportunity for the young babies to be with the older children, and for the older children to work really beautifully with the younger children, and to share and be gentle and to be kind. Because I knew that was some of those parents' doubts. Or, for example, they might think that our classes were too expensive. So at the end of the class, I would say, thank you. I'm so grateful that you came and spent this time with your children and spent the time to come here. I know it's difficult to get out of the house with young babies and children, but you invested in them and they are worth every single penny. And that's true. I wasn't making anything up. I was just helping them to come to the right conclusion, because I knew what I was talking about, but it was their first time. And this is what happens when people come to our classes. So think about what you could say during your class or during your close to help people to pass over their doubts and come through the other side. Okay, so if it's too expensive, again, you could say exactly the same thing at the end of the class. When I do the close, I talk about how the oils are more expensive than other oils, but hopefully in this class this evening you understand why, because they're worth every penny and they are on a totally different level to other essential oils. And when it comes to investing in our health, there's nothing that is more precious. So I will say that during my close. What about, what about, I don't like sales or network marketing? Well, I'll address that in my class as well. I'll say, I never really expected to find myself in this position, especially not doing a form of network marketing. But actually, when you're very passionate about working with a company and working with oils that change people's lives, it's hard not to share them. You can say a lot of things that are going to alleviate any doubts that they might be feeling. And they don't work, well, I like to say to people, at the end of the day, you just need to try them and see for yourself. So have a think about that. Get some script down, get some patter down and memorize it so it's there and in your head, so you don't feel flustered when people come up with these doubts or these concerns or these worries. Okay, so let's talk about builders. We've got Bob the Builder here. Here are some of my top tips to finding builders, okay? So when do you talk about the business? Have a think about that. All the time I talk about the business, but I'm not pushy with it. I am not in your face. I don't lead with the business, but I let people know that it's there. I let people see the highlights that we all have. You know, we get to work from home, we get to have more time with our families, we get to be on a path where we're truly aligned and live with purpose, and then the potential to change our lives financially and the lives of others. Okay, if you're living that life and you're not that down, miserable person that's always getting ill or sick, or who's always focusing on the negative but not the positive, if you're that upbeat person, then people are going to want a piece of that cake. Okay, and I've had many people come to me saying, you just always seem so happy and, you know, friendly, and I just think, oh, I'd quite like to do what she's doing. What we give off is so important. Model the life, highlight the perks. Don't get me wrong, we all know that it's not always easy. Nothing ever is. There is no successful person that hasn't worked hard and that hasn't had to go through the highs and the lows. Okay, let them experience the oils and fall in love. This is really important, I think, because if you bring people on board that are just attracted to the business opportunity but don't have a genuine interest and passion in what we're doing, then they might not be the right type of person for this business. They might, you know, you can, if you have enough passion and motivation, you can do that. But I certainly, within my team, I love to work with people who have that passion and that serving mentality, who want to help other people. And it's never a bad thing to bring people on board and let them experience the oils for a while, to let them develop their own belief and their own stories, because that is only going to help them when they get started. And let's face it, we have this whole 90-day rule, don't we, anyway? And it's all because of that. It's about, first of all, using the oils, falling in love with them, and then having some knowledge to get started. Don't get overexcited and over-justify or be over-defensive. Be cool. Has anybody seen the video with the dog? It's so funny. It's called Dave the Dog. And it's about this dog that gets really overexcited about finding builders, and they've just met somebody, and suddenly this person's going to be on LRP, and then they're going to be sharing the oils and hosting a class, and then what about CPTG, and what about LLV and Terrazyme and Lemon and all of that, and then at the end of it he's like, you're going to be my new builder, great, you're going to be Presidential Diamond, great. It's really funny. Anyway, I'll show it tomorrow at Milton Keynes. But yeah, I think we've all fallen into that habit before, because we do get very excited. If you're anything like me, I get really excited about the oils because they're amazing, and also I get really excited about the business because the business is amazing as well. And I'm really passionate about bringing people and holding hands with people and doing this together and seeing people that have aligned visions and everybody rising up together as one, and it's amazing. So we can get a bit overexcited, and I've certainly done this myself, and it's probably better to just step back a bit and be cool. Yeah, just, you know, sit comfortably in your passion and just be a bit cool with it. It's really important to follow up with people. Follow up, but don't hassle. It's that balance, isn't it? I mean, you must follow up. People are busy. People forget. Don't feel like you are hassling somebody too much just by following up. Don't feel like you're getting on their nerves, and I'm sure that we've all had times where we've questioned ourselves and questioned what other people think of us. But if you are standing in judgment, if you think someone else is standing in judgment of yourself, it's probably just that you are standing in judgment of yourself. Okay, so always follow up. You must follow up, because people are busy. They'll forget not to get back in touch with you. Their life will go on. They might even forget to use their oils. They might forget that they ticked that box that they want to host a class, or they ticked that box that they said that they're interested in the business. And then you've lost them. You must follow up, but just don't hassle too much. It's a fine line, but you know, you feel it, you know it. Follow up, but then give them some time to come back in their own time. It's really important that we think about this side of things as well, and we think about the message that we're giving off. Be truthful. Everything that we do needs to be about truth. We can't make up stories. We can't tell white lies or fibs or exaggerate what it's not. It has to come from a place of truth, because people will pick up on that. People are not silly. Embrace the positive. This is something that I do. I as I said before, I've always been a positive person, but we have a lot to be positive about with doTERRA. And there are negative times as well, but people are going to pick up on your energy, on your vibe, and they're going to be much more attracted to the positive you than the negative you. Listen to them, okay? It's called dynamic listening. Sometimes when we get busy with doTERRA, it can be easy to just focus on what we need. It's end of month, I need this enrollment and I'm going to be silver. Or, if I get this person to sign up tonight, that means, and that's a natural human instinct as well. We are working hard to help other people, but also to be successful ourselves. And that's fine. But listen to them. Listen to their needs. If we put other people first, that will always benefit us in the outcome. Another thing that I think is really important to do is to qualify people, okay? Do they want it, or do you want it for them? And I think this is a really important point, because especially when we're first starting out, we're so desperate to find a builder and to have a frontline builder, or maybe 2 or even 3 frontline builders. I see it time and time again, people rushing to put people into these key positions, and they're not really a builder, or certainly not a frontline builder. Maybe they're more of a sharer, or maybe they're just somebody who doesn't really know. Don't be in a rush, okay? The worst thing that you want to have is somebody in a key position in your organization who is not prepared to do the work and who didn't sign up for that. A builder is somebody who is prepared to do the work that you have done. Your time and your energy is precious. So don't be that person on the left and drag someone, because that's just going to drain you and it's going to drain your energy. And it's also really, really importantly, that's totally disempowering for that person. If you're dragging somebody, they have to be empowered and want to do it themselves. And if they don't, that's fine. There are other positions for them, and there are other people that you're going to find, okay, that are that person. So it's important to do the dance. And this is something that there's a diamond from the Netherlands that Nathan Becks knows well. It's called Willem Paul, and he's a great guy, really inspiring. And he talks about doing the dance with your builders. And you might do this when you're qualifying a person, deciding where you want to place them in your organization, or even further down the road. We talk about matching energies, and doing the dance is a great analogy. So you lean in to your partner, and then you wait for them to lean in. Perhaps you might lean back at that point. If they lean in, you might lean in again. But if they don't lean in, you don't lean in either. And it's very much a kind of a concept of you move, I move. And that's important, because again, you can't be dragging somebody. They have to do the work themselves in order to progress, in order to learn and to grow. You can only drag a person so far. They have to want it themselves. Okay? So, network marketing. And I underlined work because it is about work. What we do is amazing. And it's actually an incredible opportunity to get yourself into a position in a very, very fast period of time. If you're somebody like me, I've been involved with doTERRA for 2.5 years. I reached diamond in 15 months and blue diamond in 2 years. But I did work really, really hard. And the great thing about doTERRA is you can do doTERRA to whatever degree you want. So you don't have to work that hard. You could do it to cover the cost of having the oils in your life. You could do it to supplement your income extra each month. Or you could do it like myself, like Nathan and Bex, to totally replace your income and earn way much more than you've ever been able to imagine. And then you can do some serious good with that money. I mean, some of Tim, my husband's going off to Uganda in 10 days time. Bex has been over in Kenya. It's so exciting to be in a position where if you choose, you can help others. But if you want to be really successful with doTERRA, you have to put the work in, okay? There's a saying that Justin Harrison, who is the he's doTERRA wellness advocate #1, the master distributor of all. We are all underneath him, everybody. And he said something back in the States that he said, you can do it full time, you can do it part time, but you can't just do it sometime. Okay, you've got to keep that momentum going. So let's think about what is the work that we need to be doing to keep our businesses moving, our organizations growing, and attracting builders. You must be contacting 2 people a day. You must be following up with 2 people a day. You must be awake, not asleep. Okay? 2 people per day, follow up with 2 people per day, be awake, not asleep. Talk about the oils. Share the information that appeals to the person that you're talking to. So if I'm talking to somebody like a doctor, I might not go into too much yoga because I have a hunch, maybe that's a bit of a generalization for me, but I have a hunch that they might be a bit more interested in the science side of things. However, if I'm talking to a person who's kind of a healer or a yogi or kinesiology, somebody who loves energy, then I might go into the oils and the chakras and things like that. So think about the information that you are directing out, okay? Talk about the business. Share the information that might appeal to that person. Again, if you're talking to a mum, they may really, really like the idea of being a stay-at-home mum, being able to work their lives around their families. How lucky are we that we can do that we can be at home with our families and still at the same time make a success of our lives and do something fulfilling that helps other people. Okay? Preempt those doubts. Think about the person that you're talking to and what their doubts might be, what their excuse might be for not wanting to do it, and clear it before they even thought of it. Okay, so earlier I spoke to you about magnetism, okay? And something I want to touch now on is levels of influence. And this is something that Elise Chedevy has talked about in her trainings before, okay? So if you're just starting out with doTERRA, you might be talking to some of your more warm markets, so your family and your friends, people that know you, people that love you, people that trust you. But if you're just starting out, you probably don't have a big organization yet, so they might not really see the potential. So use what you have available to you, okay? 3-way chats with your upline. Use cross lines, use successful people in doTERRA who may influence or impress your prospect. So if you know that your prospect is interested in a particular topic or subject with the oils, and you know a successful leader that has done a training on that, send them the webinar, or they use their knowledge and their wisdom to attract your person and have influence over them when you perhaps don't. But there's another really important but here. You must still do the work yourself to grow. So when you're first starting, we really, really encourage you to get up and running with classes as soon as possible. So you are doing your own classes and you are confident and capable enough to be doing your own classes. So I always say to my team, bring your people to my classes, but you must do them yourselves, because you have to learn and you have to step into that role. And then your people will develop that trust and that belief in you. And in that, your confidence will grow. And that's when you will move forward in your business, okay? So don't just rely on other people. You must still do the work, but still you can use what is around you. Okay, so do something every day. This was my advice when I first started, and this is still my advice to this day. Do something every day to get your snowball rolling, okay? And then that momentum will just gather speed and grow and grow, and eventually you'll be riding a tsunami. When my business started to get really busy, I remember calling it a tsunami day. But you just got to ride that wave. And the thing is as well is, don't be disheartened. Keep that positive vibe. You have to be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. These things can take time. I think because my background is theatre, I have built up a stamina because I was used to rejection. So I used to go to auditions all the time and just never hear anything back, or you'd get no's a lot. And that was just the way. You know, you have to expect that with this business. Not everybody is going to say yes. Not everybody's going to turn up to your class. And the person that you really want to join your team might not straight away. But, you know, don't be disheartened. Just keep going, and your tsunami will get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. So I'm going to go over this point again. 2 people per day. Follow up with 2 people per day. Be awake, not asleep. Is your traffic light on full beam, or is it on amber and staying still, or is it stopped on red? You have to be awake. Your eyes have to be open. You know, I hear people saying, but I don't know that many people. You do. Think about how many people you have spoken to today. I bet there's quite a few people that you've spoken to today. If you believe in the oils, every single person needs them. We've all got something going on. So you could have spoken to every single one of those people about the oils. And then it does get to a stage where we've perhaps spoken to our friends and our family and our warm market about the oils. My goodness me, the world is a huge place. You know, there's millions of people in the UK alone, and doTERRA is still so new. So you can easily contact 2 people per day. It might not be somebody that you know. It might be somebody that you have spotted on social media who runs a business, who you think, wow, they look like a great doTERRA person. Contact them, offer them some samples, get in touch, form a relationship. It might be that you walk past a yoga studio. Get your phone out, take the number down, write the email down, contact them, because if you don't, somebody else will. Okay? It's easy to find 2 people per day. And, you know, get yourself out there in the places where you might meet those people as well. Okay, so find a resolution to your own excuses. So what are some of our own excuses that we all make? And we all make our own excuses. It's natural human instinct. And doTERRA is not easy. It's not an easy ride. As I said before, no person that was ever a success had it easy, okay? So let's think about some of these excuses that we might have. I don't have enough time. Okay, I know, it's really hard. I've got 3 boys, they're all really young still, and we were running our Caterpillar music business when we first started doTERRA. Tim was off doing the show every night apart from Sundays, so I was on my own in the evenings having to do webinars and teaching with 3 children, and one of them was a newborn. It's really hard sometimes juggling everything. We know this, but try and prioritize what's important and declutter your schedule. And be prepared to make some sacrifices to build your pipeline, because that's just now. You will reap the benefits in time. I know that I've certainly done things in the last 2 years that a lot of people might have said no to, because I was determined and because I knew that this is just for this short time, and then it will all be worth it for us all, for our family. Another excuse could be, I don't know enough people. Well, as I said before, you do, but I know sometimes it's hard to think outside of the box. So you might want to use a memory jogger. I just attached one there if you can see it. It's a warm market memory jogger, and it will just help to highlight the people that you could be thinking of and write them down. Write that 100 list. How about, so it's about having your eyes open and not being asleep. How about I can't get people to classes? Well, then you might need to work a bit on your skills, you know, get better sampling techniques and better follow-up skills. And do you know what's going to help with that? Belief. So, you know, there's stuff that you can do there, as we spoke about earlier, the books of personal development, the affirmations, it's all going to help. Practice and be patient, okay? Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day. Know that this will happen if you keep going and you keep moving forward. You'll learn, you'll grow, you'll get better at it. We all get better at it. You know, there's things that I look back at when I first started and it makes me cringe a bit, but that's just because I was learning and I was prepared to learn and to grow. Be patient with yourself, okay? Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work out exactly how you want it to work out. That's good. That's all learning. And that is how you will step up and get to the next level. So don't get deflated too easily, okay? I want you to think about now who you would love to have on your team. Who would be your dream team, as it were? Okay, so write it down. Write down your 3 people. So when I first started doTERRA, I had this little list in my mind of I had 3 people that I would love to work with, and I thought that they'd be really, really good at doTERRA. And guess what? They are all on our team now, and they're amazing, as we knew that they would be. I knew a doctor. Many of you might know her too. She's also on our team. There is a way, if you manifest it and you do things right and you do the work, that you can attract the people that you want to work with to your organization. Okay, so I want you to write down 3 people that you know who you think would be really good at doTERRA and you'd really love to work with. Write them down and visualize having them on your team. Okay, it might be somebody that's already on your downline. You know, don't forget that. Don't forget to look at your downline. It might be somebody that is on LRP, that's buying regularly already. You should definitely get in touch with them. Okay. That's the other thing. People have said to me in the past, you have some amazing people on your team. And I was a bit humble, and I used to say things like, yeah, I know I do. I don't know how that happened, or be a bit embarrassed about it. But do you know what? Blow that trumpet. You can be soft and successful, a traditionalist and a rebel, a lover and a warrior, vulnerable and invincible. Okay, I attracted those people to our business, and so can you if you do the work. Okay, so when do you talk about the business to people? All the time, as I said before, but sometimes you might want to build connections first, especially if you don't know the person. You can't just go in there all guns blazing like the dog. That probably might be off-putting. So build connections with people first. Find out about them. Listen, as I said before, find out about their life and their interests, and see how doTERRA could complement their lifestyle or what they do. Okay, so I might talk to somebody that I know in person, and I might say something like, you know, I'm not sure if it's of any interest to you, but you could be really good at doTERRA. It could be really good for you. You know, if you want me to tell you more about it, I'm more than happy. Keep it casual. Social media, I talk about the business, but not directly. I don't tend to post join my team posts or things like that. Some people choose to do that. That's fine. It's not really the way that I do it, but I'm clever with it. You know, I let people see the highlights. I let people see the life that we are leading now because of doTERRA. In my emails, I think it's really important to send out emails and newsletters. I will always at the bottom of my newsletters mention about the business opportunity and mention how grateful I am to have found doTERRA and to be where we are now. You know, I'll write something about Tim going off to Uganda next week, and about our little fundraising event that we did, our little love disco that we did to raise money, and that we're taking the oils. I will let people know about that, you know, so they don't just see it as a network marketing company. They start to develop an understanding of the richness of this company and of the work that we do. That's attractive to many people. In a class, I'll talk about the business at the end. So obviously, when we've been through the class, when we come to the close, you've got perfect opportunities to talk about the business. So I will say, I'll take them through the order form, and on the order form that I use, it's got some of the larger kits at the bottom, and I tend to say, you know, these kits, they're for people that are, you know, wanting to do the business, or people that, you know, want to spend a bit more money. And then I'll say it again when I talk about the feedback form. I'll say, you know, there's 2 boxes here, because in doTERRA there's 3 types of person. Most people are just customers. 85% of doTERRA people are just customers. But then there's the opportunity for people who want to share the oils with the friends and the family that they love and care about. There's an opportunity to host classes, a bit like what we've done tonight. So if you're interested in that side of things, tick that box and we can come and do this for you and reward you with some lovely oils as a thank you. And also for anybody who sat here this evening and thought, gosh, I'd really like to be part of something that helps other people, that is fulfilling and allows me to have the reins back of life and follow a purpose. If that's you and you want to know more about what it is that we do, then let us know and we can tell you more about it. In fact, for anybody who wants to stay, we're going to do a little 10-minute presentation on how the business works at the end of the class. So I mention it and you'll be surprised how many people stay for that business chat. In a wellness consultation, you can mention the business again. We've got all the forms there. They do it for us. You go through the live guide, you go through the share guide, and then there's a build guide. And I just brush over it. I say to people, you know, I'm not sure if this is of any interest to you, but this is just talks about the business side of things. So if it is, let me know and I'll take you through it. And then I move on. And lots of people will stop me and say, so hang on a minute, how does it work? In actual fact, I find sometimes I have attracted more people that want to build recently than just customers. And sometimes I don't encourage them to do the business because, as we spoke about before, I want to attract people that really want to do it for the right reasons, that love the oils, that want to help people, and people that are prepared to use them first and develop a love and an understanding of them, and not just doing it, you know, for the wrong reasons. And I want people to join us with doTERRA that are going to do it well and that are going to make a success of it, and it's going to bring something to their lives. So that's, you know, all to do with the qualifying. So people that I don't know, as I spoke about before, sometimes I'll be on Facebook, I'll be browsing, I'll be on Instagram and I'll see somebody that I don't know and I'll think, oh, they look like they could be really good at doTERRA, and I'll message them and I'll just say, hey, I've been checking your page out. I love what you do. I love your vibe. I work with a company called doTERRA, educating about beautiful brand of essential oils. And I'll use words that will appeal to that person. And I might give examples of an oil and what it's for that will appeal to that person. So if that's a yoga teacher, I'll give examples of oils for yoga. If it's a healer, I'll give examples of oils with a high vibrational frequency. If it's somebody that's more scientific, I'll go in with the science and perhaps Source to You website or PubMed or some research. You know, be intentional with what you're sharing. But I will totally send them a private message and offer to send them some samples. Don't expect them all to get back to you. Often they don't. But if you were to do that twice a day for a week, a few will. And that is going to get that snowball rolling, and it's going to develop your skills, develop your learning and your confidence as well. And then obviously business opportunity webinars as well. If you're not doing them yourself, then your upline, you can ask your upline if they do something like that. And this is a great opportunity to invite your people or your prospect on to learn about the business from somebody who's been successful with it. And again, it's about bridging that gap of influence. And, you know, we have the doTERRA offers as well. So the 50 PV offer this month is a great way to introduce sharing to somebody, because they can get 50 PV back from just sharing the oils with somebody that they know. So that's like a little stepping stone, or just dipping their toes in the water a little bit and starting to see how it feels, and starting to look at their back office in a different way. Just learn how to do it tactfully. I think that is something that we learn with practice, but if you don't jump in and start doing it, you'll never learn. It's called seeding, apparently. I didn't even realize that that's something that I do, but it's just planting little seeds in people's minds, positive seeds. So the role of leaders is not to get other people to follow them, but to empower others to lead. I love that. Be positive, be patient, keep going. Put the work in to grow. No success was ever easy. You do what others won't, and you will achieve what others can't. Act like a diamond. If you act like a diamond, if you want to be a diamond at that rank, and one day you will be it. And I'm going to finish with this one. When you love yourself, you glow from the inside. You attract people who love, respect, and appreciate your energy. Everything starts with and how you feel about yourself. Start feeling worthy, valuable, and deserving of receiving the best that life has to offer. Be magnetic. That is the end of my presentation. I hope you're all still there.
Yes, they are, and loving it. There was quite a few comments. There we go, another one that's been so amazing. It's been amazing, Ems. Incredible. And you know, you're the perfect example of all the things you spoke about. So, you know, you weren't just telling people what to do, you've actually lived it and walked the walk, as is so evident. You know, you've always been the perfect example of sacrifice, hard work, like you said, and positivity. I remember that back in, you know, your first classes. Whenever I remember the class when there was, I think, 5 people that dropped out and there were only 2 people, and you were like, oh well, it's meant to be, we're going to make the best of these 2 people.
I think both of those 2 people joined the business as well.
They did, exactly.
Zoe Popplesmith.
Yeah.
Who just turned
So it was totally worth it. But you know, you could have chosen to react a totally different way and taken this really low energy to that class, and I think we would have pushed away those 2 people. So, you know, it's just all of the things you said were just spot on, and I think that was just brilliant. So I hope everyone really took lots of notes and can go and implement some aspects, and you know, take a few things and start implementing them first, and then add to it, you know, as Ems was kind of saying. So yeah, you've got lots of thank yous. So Ems, could you just possibly introduce the challenge for the week? Is that okay?
Yes, definitely. So my challenge to you guys is, did you write down your list of your 3 people that you would love to be on your dream team? And my challenge to you is to contact them this week in the best way that fits them, that suits them, but do it. Contact them. It might not be that you're talking about the oil straight away. It might be that you're just building a relationship, but start that ball rolling, start that seeding.
Perfect. Brilliant challenge. And so the winners are going to be, so the first 3 people that do that. So, you know, it's not going to be, because you can all do that. So it's going to be the first 3 people that contact those 3 people. So you make sure you put it into the group. So if you're on the elites and premiers, put it in that group. If you're the silver and golds, put it in that group. If you don't put it in that group, we won't be able to give you that prize. And the prizes are going to be business tools. So we've got this kind of snazzy for number 1. This nice kind of sport you can take to the gym. Start a conversation about doTERRA there. Or you can give it to your new builder. It's a nice little zip at the front, and then an oil bag, some rollables, and a nice doTERRA booklet. And also the oil Motivate, just to help keep you motivated every day to speak to people. Second prize is again the oil Motivate, and then some lovely little booklets, little oil pouch, and then some sampling cards, really lovely sampling cards. And then third prize are going to be those little booklets, some nice things in there, and some little pots to make creams and things, and the Motivate oil. So they're your 3 prizes. So yeah, the race is on. Go and contact those 3 people. And this week was about, for both of the groups actually, was doing 2 classes. And if you haven't already done a follow-up class, and that was one of the suggestions that you might want to do to keep that momentum going. And of course, don't forget those wellness consultations that you're trying to do from March, and perhaps from the classes if you had ones at the beginning of April. So as Ems, you know, spoke about a couple of times, it's all about that momentum. That's what creates energy. It's what attracts builders as well as customers. So that's what this kind of RAC program is all about. It's about helping to create that momentum. So keep it going. You've got 2 weeks left. Emily, thank you so much.
Thank you for
really, really wonderful.
Always a pleasure. Love everybody.
We love you. All right. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and a lovely week. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye. And I can't end it because no, we're just